Perfect. So I'm Luke Hoffmeister, as mentioned, and I do head up sales engineering at Halos, where my job is actually simple. I work directly with our field teams to make sure that the solution actually works in real life, not just on a slide deck. So today's webinar is about reducing risk, protecting your operators when situations get tense, and replacing any disputes with clarity. That's what Halos is built for. Here's what we're going to go over. So first, I'll walk through how video evidence management fits specifically into towing and recovery, not law enforcement. We're not talking about security. This is your world. Then we'll watch a short 60-second clip so you can see what this actually looks like in action. And after that, we'll take a look at key features and how they translate into real-world outcomes, and then kind of wrap it up with a final at the end. So one thing we know about this industry, nobody has time for complicated rollouts. So we built this to be simple. When the cameras ship, they're already pre-configured. You're not programming anything. You're not managing servers. There's no IT work to be done at all. They come out of the box ready to work. We've also removed the upfront equipment purchase. It's also one touch to record. So everything uploads automatically into the Halos vault. If it's not easy, we know that it won't get used. So we made sure it's easy. In recovery work, right, you're often dealing with people on one of the worst days of their lives. With roadside assistance, customers are already stressed, they're late for work, or embarrassed, right? Emotions can be high, accusations happen, sometimes things escalate rather quickly. A visible body camera changes behavior right off the bat because it de-escalates many problems before they even have a chance to start. If a situation does occur, supervisors can actually live stream in near real time and engage resources to solve whatever it is immediately. Every piece of footage that you capture is encrypted and it's secured from the capture to storage. When something happens, you don't have to debate it. Instead of me explaining, though, we're going to
Hey,
show you.
hey,
Yeah, go
Luke,
ahead.
pardon me. I think
Go ahead.
we might be having an issue with the screen share. Hold on one second.
Oh, okay. You guys can't see this.
I'm not sure. It looks so Reese is saying no. Amy, so it looks like hang on, hang tight. Let me see what's going on here. Sorry about this, everyone. So video. Luke, give me one second. I
You're good.
may have not.
Let me hit share again and see if this changes anything. Do you guys
How
see?
about now, everyone? Okay. Luke, try one more time.
Sure.
There. Okay. Just had to change a setting to make you
No
make
worries.
you a co-host. Sorry about that,
Okay.
everyone.
No, all good, you
My
guys.
fault.
So we can, let's see if we can. We basically just were kind of showing on screen what we were talking about,
Yep.
evidence. And then this is a video I wanted to show you guys. Um, we want to watch how the interaction unfolds between the positioning of the vehicle, vehicle condition, and the driver interaction with the client. So we'll let this play.
How you doing?
I'm in a jam right now. I'm kind of like pressed against it.
I'm just gonna grab this tire and we're just gonna slide you back.
That would be so
Um,
great.
That way we don't have to really pull on anything crazy.
I do
It should
have
be
a front
fine.
tow hook.
We're just gonna go
Okay.
right to that rim.
All right.
This is all on the Halos camera, by the way. All right. Don't want to keep it too long, but what you just saw is exactly why body worn cameras matter in this industry. If there's a damage claim later or someone says something happened that didn't, say an operator is accused of misconduct, you don't have to rely on memory, you rely on documentation, and that changes everything. So let's talk practical. The camera records for the entire shift. You're not managing battery anxiety halfway through the day. You get GPS history to see where the operators have been on the map. The camera itself is waterproof, dustproof. It's not office equipment, it's built for field work. At the end of the shift, drop the camera into a dock. It charges and offloads automatically. Simple in, simple out. You can upload over 4G or connect to up to 10 Wi-Fi networks at the same time. Like camera can hold it all. That matters because, as you know, recovery work isn't happening in perfect conditions. The low light performance on this camera is strong. So a lot of recoveries happen at night. And if something serious is unfolding, supervisors can live stream in near real time. That protects your operator and it protects your company. Once footage uploads, everything lives in Halo's vault. It's cloud-based, it's secure, and fully encrypted. That's 256-bit bank level. Every action taken on a file within Vault has an audit trail. So you've got full accountability at all levels, all the time. If you need to blur a face or a license plate, we have a built-in redaction engine. And what we believe in, as you can see, is simple. One case, one place. So all your video, photos, documents, notes, they're tied together in the same platform. That way, if insurance calls, if an attorney reaches out, if ownership needs it, you don't have to go hunting for files because it's all here. I like this quote because it encapsulates what Halos is. He says, the cameras aren't an expense, they're insurance. And that's exactly how most of our towing customers look at this solution. Honestly, you may go months without needing to share footage, but the one time you do, and it prevents a payout, protects a driver, or just shuts down a false claim, it pays for itself. So we have a few things here because as you think, we have a few common questions and answers that we want to cover. So what are the main benefits? Well, it's safety, it's reduced false claims, and it's deterrence. When people know they're on camera, behavior changes. Who should be wearing the camera? Well, drivers first, they're front line. But we also see incredible value for office staff because they deal with walk-ins, vehicle inspects and cleanouts, and a lot of tense conversations. Why not just truck cameras? Because, simply put, truck cameras don't capture everything. Once the driver steps away from the vehicle, you've lost some coverage. Body-worn cameras go where the operator goes. And that's it, guys. I'll turn it back over. It's really short, and we wanted to keep it intentional, but we want to cover what you have in mind and what questions you might have. Thank you.
Thanks, Luke. So if anybody's got any questions, please go ahead and put them in the chat or in the Q&A box. I'll ask a question, Luke.
Yeah.
Do you have any stories that you could anonymize about how having body cams reduced like saved an operator from a lawsuit or from a major payout like you alluded to?
Yeah. So each payout's going to vary, but we had one specific. When we were at NARS in 24, we had one of the drivers talking to us afterwards when we were all getting together, and he goes, our insurance is really high. They have some claims that are really, really high claims. So their deductible for them was 400,000. That meant that anything below that could be something smaller, a few $1,000s, 180,000. It was all out of pocket for them, 100%. That's cash burn. It's just gone. And the reason is by the time you get over to legal and insurance, they're like, look, it doesn't hit our deductible. It's not worth trying to fight in court because that's other expenses. You're going to exceed your deductible if we try and do that. It's just not worth it. Let's just settle. And so they would settle everything less than $400,000 deductible. They
Mm,
had hundreds of thousands out each year. They spent on the cameras, showed the proof of what occurred, and it went to zero. They literally send over the footage and go, here you go. Here's the event that occurred. There's nothing that can be done. It's over.
crazy. We had a couple of questions come in, and it looks like they're pretty similar.
Sure.
Renee asked if there's a lawsuit 2 years after a repossession, would the video still be accessible?
Yes.
What's the data retention period?
Data retention is as long as you're a customer of Halos. So we have an option there to save as much video as you want, as long as you want. And that's exactly what our clients were telling us, because that was kind of our second year at ARA or NAR, excuse me.
Mhm.
And they go, look, what if it's longer? Because these lawyers know they'll wait like a year and a half before they ever bring a claim because most video and evidence is already long gone. And then they'll bring it when you have nothing left to show. So we say, hey, you can save everything you want. That way, 2, 3 years down the road, if they come at you, you've still got it.
All right, we've got a few more questions coming in. Nancy asked if she said that we were told that we could do two cameras. Now we're being told that we have to purchase five. We're a very small office. Is there something being worked on to change this? Small companies shouldn't be penalized and not allowed the same benefit for bigger companies. The risks are the same.
Nancy, good question and good point. Unfortunately for us, that was a company decision that bit both ways because it's exactly what you're experiencing. But we found that we had to operate in a market of at least five and up, and that was just globally. So unfortunately, right now, that's kind of a hard and fast thing for us. We're always happy to take that back because we really want to support ARA and really support all of you guys. So there may be exceptions, but we have to raise those sort of to the highest level and see if, there's something we could do. But as of right now, we do have a five minimum. That is correct. And that was all based on us, not based on like anything to do with ARA. It was as a business, we had to sort of make a decision, and that's how we had to go.
So Drew was asking, and forgive me, I'm not familiar with with one of these acronyms, but isn't there an AI capability for capturing PP
Personal
located in
property.
the personal property? Okay,
Yeah. So
located in the vehicle.
no, good question. Right now, and we have AI capabilities that we've just rolled out, literally 2026. We've been working on it for over 2 years. So we seem a little late, but we wanted to get it right. That's very, very important to us to get this right because there's a lot of buzz right around this. And frankly, we've seen other companies not get it right. So we see how that affects. We don't want to do that. That said, what we did first is a little different, and we have built our AI to be a transcript because globally that was the most important thing for the largest group of our customers and for the redaction feature rather than having to manually do everything. It's got some auto stuff so you can say, hey, redact faces, redact this, and it's going to take that and do it. And you get like every new account gets something like two hours per camera, and then it's a pool. So it's like over a certain period of time, which I think is daily or weekly. There's specifics that I can always find out, but everyone gets a certain level of that AI already built in. And then we offer another tier if they're just a heavy user or just really, really heavy into the management with AI of their account. But that said, we do have some more stuff coming later. A year ago, we were already previewed on some things that are along the lines of what you say. I can't really disclose them. But as those features become the next most important thing, we're going to be rolling those out, and everyone that's got AI is going to have that.
Denise is asking, do we request footage through a website or the camera, or do we have to email Halo for the footage? Basically, can we show footage to PD in the field?
That's actually the beauty of this system. So if you guys, there's kind of two main ways we have companies do this. If they have a Wi-Fi hotspot in the truck already, or if they want to do a 4G SIM, which they can get directly from Halos, right? That's an optional add-on. We do low data and high data, kind of two different plans. All we're doing is passing that on as a cost. So we just want to make sure you have a pathway in a network. So yes, the answer is you can share directly to police, directly from the platform, and right after the incident, you can do it basically on scene because it'll be a few minutes in good network coverage, and just you'll have it right away. So your driver can reach out to you. Hey, here's the cop, here's the detective. They want this information. Can we get it over to them? Absolutely. You follow your process, right? So whatever your process is for review, 24, 48 hours or longer, you guys follow that. But once you're ready, you can share directly within Halos. And the great thing is it stays encrypted and you can still track it even though that officer or that detective doesn't have access to your specific platform. They have a sharing platform that's connected on our end. So you can see when they viewed the footage or not. So there's no, hey, did that detective even take action on this? Where are we at with this? Can we close this out? You can see when they're viewing the footage.
All right. Joanne is asking, is there a cost to access data if we discontinue Halos but need to retrieve data at a later date?
No. In spite of my best efforts to monetize that, they said no. No, I'm kidding. So, look, the data is yours, and that's actually a very important question. It's your data from day one on. As long as you're a customer of Halos, you have our platform to access it with. If you ever end the Halos relationship, let us know what data you want. We will get it to you. It's your data. Because in the end, any customer that leaves Halos, that data is going away anyway. We don't have archive systems. We're not keeping this for reasons or research or whatever. It's our customer data that we care about, and that's what we house. So you keep it for as long as you want. If you ever leave Halos, we will get the data to you so you have it at
Clarifying,
no charge.
clarifying question here, Luke. Can the police department in the field see the footage immediately on the camera through a view screen?
No. And this is actually very important. We built these specifically with only sort of some information on top. There we go. There's the camera on
Yep.
top of the screen on a small LCD to talk about the operation. One, the durability goes way down when you have an on screen. You've got this big area of glass that has to be sort of ruggedized, and it's very hard to do. You have more breaks than you have um, sort of potential for benefit. Two, when somebody is there in the field reviewing their footage, and this is like law enforcement all the way through, it tends to change the narrative and sort of change, well, the reason I did that is because rather than getting the facts. So if you want your report from your drivers and you want things to be as accurate as possible, we really don't recommend having the screen. And that's why we built our cameras the way that we did. We want to keep it real, real simple for the operator. And we don't want to take away from their job. Frankly, they've got a lot to do, and it's important to stay focused.
Okay.
We
Well,
can
it
share
doesn't
this
look like
directly with PD. They just have to follow a link.
well, it looks like we've made it through all of our questions. We'll give it just another minute or so. But in the meantime, everybody, if we've got NARS coming up. If you haven't registered, things are filling up very, very quickly. There are only a few sponsorship opportunities left, maybe a couple of exhibitor booths, but uh, definitely head over to reposummit.com and register if you haven't done so already. And it looks like, um, okay, Joanne did ask a follow-up question. Can you disclose the cost, or is this a one-on-one conversation?
I'll give you a ballpark. How's that? And the reason is every sort of group of cameras is different, and sales run specials, and I never kind of know what they are. I'm sales, but I'm not a salesperson. I'm like sales enablement, right? So generally speaking, our pricing, including the AI, all the storage you could ever need. By the way, storage you could ever need is unlimited. We don't cap that. We don't define it. Um, is a monthly cost ongoing. And per camera, typically you're right around the 65 range per camera. No upfront equipment cost. And then if you add on sell, there's either a $10 plan or a $20 plan per camera. If you're like we don't need a lot of field stuff. Give us the lower plan, or hey, we're going to be using that live stream like crazy because of situations and encounters. Then get the higher data plan. So ultimately, somewhere between 65 and 85 is your typical range per camera. Those are our current prices, and that's it. There is no other cost.
Patty is asking, in Florida, we are a two-party consent state. How do agents perform in the field?
So this is very interesting because it's going to be your process, right? What you guys want to say. But we've seen sort of on the law enforcement side how they do it. And the reason we talk about that is because they're early adopters of body cameras, but we don't build for them, right? We actually built for the rest of the industry and service. The thing that we've seen be helpful is twofold. One, the operator typically goes, "Hey, I'm recording for your safety in mind," or some similar sort of spiel, and they move forward. And if the person says, "No, I don't consent," then you have to comply per state law. However, the camera also has capabilities in it with a beep and with audio announcement so that the moment you interact with the camera, it goes, "Camera recording." Now, when you're there on site, the best practice is you're already recording when you walk into a situation. So that doesn't always cover it, but we built as much as we could into the unit itself to help supplement that. Plus, the unit can, hey, we put a little sticker in the package that says audio and video right down here. And that gives one more indicator that the camera's on. Also, when I record, the light tends to do like a strobe, right? It gets real bright and then it goes dim. One more indicator that the camera is recording. So we try to cover that as much as we can. Ultimately, it's going to be your process per your state.
Okay. Well, it looks like we've covered everything, Luke. We really appreciate you being here.
Absolutely.
And
Thanks for having me, guys.
yeah, and everybody, we will be back at it next month as well with a follow-up to Alex Price, the skip guru. Um, they'll be going over some additional skip tracing information for you to learn. And yeah, and that'll be a good one. So everybody, until next month, we will see you on the web. Be on the lookout for the recording coming out uh, probably by the end of this week. So thanks everybody. Appreciate you being here. Thanks again, Luke.
Thanks, y'all. Thanks, Tony. Bye bye.
Bye.